Tess, and I'm one of the Associate Intelligence Analysts at Healix, contributing to Risk Radar 2025.
And I'm Michael, Senior Intelligence Analyst. We're part of the team responsible for monitoring the risks, threats, and trends for the Africa region. And today we're taking a look at some of the key themes of flashpoint areas to watch for the year ahead. Several major elections occurred in Africa in 2024. Noteworthy shifts occurred in some countries, including South Africa, where the ruling ANC lost its majority for the first time in the post-apartheid era, or Senegal, where the anti-establishment party won both the presidential and legislative elections. In others, elections generated controversy and precipitated deteriorations in the security risk environments, exemplified by persistent election-related unrest in Mozambique since around October. Dissatisfaction with the political status quo has led to anti-government protest activity and unrest in several African countries this year, notably in Kenya, Nigeria, and Uganda. The growing militancy risk continues to translate into major attacks, particularly in the Sahel, showcased by the divergent JNM attack in Bamako in mid-September that caused around 100 fatalities.
Simmering tensions in the Horn of Africa have largely stayed under the radar despite elevated external conflict risk heading into 2025. Ethiopia's intent to gain sea access through the conclusion of a preliminary deal with Somaliland generated a rupture in diplomatic relations between Ethiopia and Somalia. In turn, Somalia's growing cooperation with Eritrea and Egypt continues to isolate Ethiopia in the region and raises concern about the prospect for hostilities. An escalation into open conflict remains unlikely but cannot be ruled out and would be significant given the strategic importance of the Horn of Africa region for global trade.
In September, we predicted that the ruling Frelimo party would comfortably retain its majority despite a more complex electoral landscape in Mozambique. We highlighted the rise of presidential candidate Venancio Mondlane and the strong likelihood of an opposition challenge to election results due to allegations of fraud. Based on past election cycles and pre-identified drivers, we successfully predicted that post-election unrest would likely occur. We have consistently updated our price, monitored for triggers that would signal an escalation, and accurately predicted the likely outcome in each stage of Mondlane's protest activity, particularly since the announcement of election results on the 24th of October. We now assess that further election-related unrest in Mozambique is increasingly likely into the first quarter of 2025, pending discussions with presidential candidates.
Concerns over governance and corruption will likely continue to drive further unrest in several African countries into 2025. Extreme weather events are almost certain to continue posing security and operational risk, including heat waves, flooding, droughts, and storms. Conflict will continue to persist in affected areas, including Sudan, where no peace deal appears to be in sight. We'll also be keeping an eye on potential new external conflict vectors into 2025, such as in the Horn of Africa. Militant groups are expected to continue posing significant threats to people and businesses across Africa, especially in the Sahel and other countries in West Africa, where the failure to deal with insecurity will continue to place pressure on military governments in the sub-region. If you want to learn more, download now.